These are the games I played in December. Alright everyone, hope you are doing well. I'm the man they call Pixel Paul, and this is my monthly roundup of the games that I played in December. So yeah, Christmas month. Usually I try to play as many games as I can during that month. Bit of time off work, later nights perhaps. I try and get a few sort of gaming sessions in. It didn't quite go to plan, I must admit, but I have played the games that I'm going to show you right now. So I do this every month, just show you quickly a few of the games that I played in the month and what I thought of them. So we're going to go straight into it, and as always I'm going to go straight to Nintendo Corner. And to start with, a couple of handheld games. So as you may know from previous videos in this series, I really got into playing on my PlayStation Portable recently, but my PlayStation Portable, my PSP, has finally given up the ghost and no longer works. So I'm still looking to replace that, but I do have various other handheld consoles which I can kind of feed my handheld gaming needs, if you like. So yeah, I've played a couple of handheld games on the Nintendo 3DS. So the first one that I played was Ridge Racer 3D. Great game, loved this, really enjoyed playing this one. I mean, it's Ridge Racer, everybody knows what Ridge Racer does, but I was really surprised actually just how nice this game looks on the 3DS. It looks amazing, goes at some pace as well, really really sort of fast game, and you know, that little handheld actually holds its own with it. It looks amazing on it, handles really well. Not sure about if having the drift on a single button is a little bit of a cheat perhaps. I think you can turn that off, to be fair, but it does kind of help just make it a bit more of a pick up and play and enjoy, and not too sort of stressful if you can get stressed at arcade races. But yeah, Ridge Racer 3D, really impressed with that. Going to be playing a lot more of that as well. Another game on the 3DS, I've been playing this, Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. Now I did start to play this a little bit back when I bought this in, I reckon it was about August, may have been about July, something like that perhaps. I do love the Professor Layton series, love these games, and got all the games on the Nintendo DS. I've got this one, and there is another one game on the 3DS which is quite expensive, and I think there's like a Phoenix Wright crossover as well. Anyway, but yeah, again, just more of the same really with this Professor Layton. Does it do anything particularly different from the DS games? I think the animated cutscenes are a little bit more, possibly a bit longer and a bit more animated perhaps, but it's just more of the same really, more of the same Professor Layton, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that because it's a cracking game. So yeah, love that one. And then I had a quick session on this, one of my favourite Game Boy games, this one, Probotector. I often go back to this game. It just draws me back in. It's one of my go-to games for the Game Boy. Do love this game, do love this series, to be fair, as well. This is my original copy from back in the day, and yeah, just love it. Love the box art for that. Looks amazing, doesn't it? But yeah, just such a brilliant game on the Game Boy. Love the sound effects and the music in it. Excuse me. So yeah, Probotector, another I've lost my voice. Another decent handheld game. So moving on, that's the only Nintendo games I've been playing. I haven't actually played on my Super Nintendo or N64 this month, just not had time really. But I did grab a new game for my Mega Drive, and that made me pull out the Mega Drive and have a quick go of it. So I've played two games this month on the Mega Drive. So the first one, this was only a recent pickup, Super WrestleMania on the Mega Drive. One of the sort of first console, well no, it's not one of the first console wrestling games, because obviously there was earlier games, but this was the first in the 16-bit series of wrestling games. And it's okay, it's not brilliant, it never was amazing. There were better games in the 16-bit era. Royal Rumble was my favourite. But yeah, this was not a bad game, it's just not brilliant. But yeah, quite enjoyed having a quick blast on that one. Bit of a nostalgia trip. And as the Mega Drive was out, I once again dived into RoboCop vs Terminator. Again, I absolutely adore this game. It's fast becoming one of my favourite Mega Drive games. Yeah, just love this game. So RoboCop versus Terminator. Right, so moving on, I normally go to Xbox, but I'm going to save Xbox to the end this time. So I'm going to move to PlayStation. So PlayStation, we'll go PlayStation 4 first. So now, strictly, when I say I've played this month, the vast majority of the time was trying to get it downloaded and installed onto my PlayStation 5. It took absolutely forever. Don't know whether it's the internet connection I've got, which I thought was alright, but it's an absolutely humongous download for this game, and I only wanted to play the campaign. It's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, PlayStation 4. Yeah, it took absolutely forever to download this, and when I thought I'd downloaded it, I then had to download more stuff, and when it came around to actually then starting the campaign, I think I played the first mission, and I kind of lost my drive to actually go any further with it. So I uninstalled it and gave up. I will try again at some point. I'm trying to go through the Call of Duty backlog that I've got, and during 2024 I had actually gone through quite a few Call of Duty games. So there was Infinite Warfare, Cold War, World War II, I think Advanced Warfare as well. So I'd played quite a few, and I was trying to get this one done as well, but no, just trying to download it all, it just took so much time, and I kind of just lost interest in the end. So yeah, I didn't really play that one in the end, but I kind of did, sort of. 2 more PlayStation 4 games, and they are on the top shelf. So this first one was a fairly recent pickup, and it is, gonna have to get me numbers right, King of Fighters 14. That is 14, isn't it? Yeah, 14. Yeah, so this is only the second King of Fighters game I've got. I got Maximum Impact on the PlayStation 2 as well. But yeah, I picked this up recently because it's a really nice steelbook edition of this. Really nice condition as well. I got it from CEX. Thought I'd give it a quick go. And yeah, really enjoyed this one. Starting to really get into this series of beat 'em ups. So yeah, enjoyed that one. Loads of characters on it. But yeah, I'm just quite sort of new to this series. I've not played Maximum Impact that much really, but this one's really grabbed my attention, so really enjoyed that one. And then another one that I started at the start of December. I've had this for ages and just not got around to playing it, and I had a spare hour or two and thought, because I downloaded it and installed it onto my PlayStation 4 and had it sat there waiting. So I thought, right, I'm going to finally give this a go. It's Psychonauts 2, and this is really good. I played the first Psychonauts years and years ago on PlayStation 2, played it and finished it. Remember really enjoying it, but I don't particularly remember that much about it, other than it was just really good. Which sounds odd because, you know, if it's really good, why don't I remember it? Not sure. It's going back a few years. Anyway, so yeah, I finally got around to playing Psychonauts 2. And yeah, weird game, kooky game. But yeah, 3D platformer if you've never sort of played this. But yeah, just amazing. Really loved it. It reminded me a little bit, the vibe it sort of gives is almost a little bit like Alice Madness Returns. It's a similar sort of feel and look to it. Very weird and surreal kind of surroundings and levels, and yeah, just really good. And from what I remember of the first game, it was sort of similar, but obviously with a sort of graphical edge that this one has. Yeah, I intend to try and get this one finished as well at some point. Love this lenticular sleeve for it as well. That shows up really well on the camera actually. Whoa. Nice. But yeah, Psychonauts 2, finally got around to playing that and really enjoying it. Next up, so this one's a bit of a surprise one. So, on Christmas, no actually I'll save that one, just New Year's Eve, we weren't doing much here particularly. I think Pixel Jr. was playing on PlayStation 5 in the front, Mrs. Pixel was asleep. So I thought, well, I'll come in here and I'll put a few PlayStation 2 games on, which I did. One of them I tried and it didn't work. Which one was it? One of the discs on one of the games I tried was scratched. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, so I did try. Well, I tried these two first. Legends of Wrestling. Yeah, that wasn't very good. Not impressed with that particularly. Never played it before, but yeah, it wasn't very good. Very underwhelmed with it. And then I did also try Juiced 2, and again, maybe it needs a bit more time, but I wasn't that fussed with it. Yeah, I don't know. A bit more time maybe I need with this one. Like I said, I only played maybe this one for about 20 minutes or so, and it just didn't particularly grab me, but a bit more time possibly needed with that one. But the rest of the evening, right up to 12 o'clock midnight on New Year's Eve, I was playing this game, and I wasn't particularly expecting much. I was actually expecting to, like those two, just to give it a quick sort of maybe 10-15 minutes or something like that. I ended up playing it for about 2 hours. And you'd never guess which game it was. Final Fight Streetwise. This game really surprised me. I just really enjoyed it. I just started playing it and I couldn't put it down for some reason. I have been going through a bit of a, the side-scrolling beat 'em up kind of phase at the moment. So I've been playing Streets of Rage 4. I've played Final Vendetta not long ago, and the Ninja Turtles games again, yeah. So I mean, this didn't review particularly well when it came out, and I can kind of see why. It's a little bit clunky. The graphics are really quite drab looking. The play world is not huge or anything like that. But for some reason it just grabbed me. I just couldn't put it down. It does feel very much like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, but in 3D. And it just feels like a Final Fight game, which it should do. But being in 3D, it just, I don't know, it just surprised me that it still had that feel of a scrolling sort of beat 'em up in a way. The story and the characters are awful. Cody's in it again with his brother on the front cover. That's who you play as, and there's elements of sort of story to it, and you go to certain areas and beat people up, and there's a boss at one point, or boss or two, and it's all fairly standard stuff. There's no flash, there's no pizzazz to it or anything like that. The soundtrack's a little bit iffy. The voiceover work's not great. I'm not painting a good picture for this, am I? But again, it was a bit of a pick up and play game, and I just, for whatever reason, just lost myself in this for those 2 hours, and really got into it. And I have played it again a little bit since, so we'll probably try and finish it. So Final Fight Streetwise just came out of nowhere. Thought I'd put it on. I'd not played it before, and just really enjoyed it. It was a nice surprise, that one. So yeah, liked that. Still on PlayStation then. So PlayStation 5, this month I've been trying to get through a bit of the backlog of PlayStation 5 games. It didn't quite go to plan, really. I'm still playing Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. I've just taken a little bit of a break from it. I am enjoying it. I possibly would say I'm not quite enjoying it as much as I did the original back in the day when it first came out. Possibly because I've seen it all before a little bit, but I am still enjoying it, and I do still want to go back to it and finish it. But it's just gone on the back burner for a little bit now. So Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. I also had Pixel Junior got this for Christmas, so I have given this a quick go as well. And it is Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. Sonic Generations is actually one of my favourite Sonic games, so yeah, I was looking forward to giving this one a quick go. Pixel Junior has played it. I think he quite enjoyed it. I'm not quite sure if he was that bothered with it, but I'll certainly be giving this another go, just mainly to play the shadow element of the game. But I know a lot of people really love this, so yeah, looking forward to giving that a bit more of a playthrough. Okay, so the next game that I have been playing a little bit, again, I've not spent a huge amount of time in it, but I've been trying to give it a go in the sort of margins, if you like, and that is AEW Fight Forever. Now, when I've played this, I've been playing it through our new toy, and we finally took the plunge and got the PlayStation Portal. So I thought, well, while I'm talking about AEW, I will show you the PlayStation Portal in action. So yeah, AEW, Fight Forever. I'm a big wrestling fan, do love wrestling. I'm not the world's biggest AEW fan though. I've tried my best to watch AEW, I think I've said this before. There's just something about the presentation of it and the actual in-match action and wrestling. It just doesn't quite grab me in the way WWE and WWF did. So yeah, I'm trying to really love this because I know that it is a bit of a throwback to the N64 wrestling games, and you can certainly feel and tell that that's where the inspiration for this has come from. But there's just something missing for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the roster and the characters that are available. I mean, graphically, it's quite nice looking. Is it a massive leap forward from even like sort of the SmackDown games? I'm not sure really. But yeah, I mean, it's relatively easy to pick up, and there's elements of it where, yeah, you're using the controls, and it does feel like one of the N64 games. But I don't know, even then, it still feels just a little bit more fiddly than those games did. So I want to carry on with it. I want to persevere with it. I want to use the sort of the builder wrestler mode in it as well, and see what sort of creations I can come up with, and see what that's like. But yeah, it's certainly a game I need to put a bit more time into, I think. It is a pick up and play type of game for me, wrestling games, any sort of sports games. I don't usually devote a huge amount of time to them. They are sort of pick up and play and just enjoy every now and then. But yeah, it's one of those games that I've really sort of quite enjoyed playing on this, actually. Rather than spending hours and hours using this is perfect for those sort of like quick moments where you just want to pick it up and just play it for a bit and sit on the couch, sit on the bed. So PlayStation Portal itself, I've been quite impressed with it. I do love it. I think it's a great looking piece of kit. Yeah, just really sort of comfortable to use. I've not really had any issues with lag or anything like that with it. The games just seem to run really well on it. If anything, I think the games, I don't know whether it's because normally you're sort of sitting so far away from the TV, but when you've got it in front of you like that, the graphics just seem so much more detailed on here than they do possibly on the TV. So yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about it at the moment. I've not been able to use the sort of cloud streaming element of it yet because I'm not on PS Plus. But I think having this now is going to be a factor in me possibly getting a PS Plus subscription. I'm still a bit on the fence whether how much we'd use that, because a lot of the games on PlayStation Plus, and I'm not bragging here, I've got behind me. Obviously, not as many of the newer sort of games, but the older school games, most of them are behind me, and I can put them on whenever I want. So that's why I've really never really had PlayStation Plus. So we'll see how it goes anyway. But yeah, back to AEW. I'm on the fence with it. So the other PlayStation 5 game, which I've been trying to get finished this month, is RoboCop Rogue City. And I have to say, I love this game. I think it's really, really good. I'm trying to show you some more footage from the Portal. Yeah, Rogue City, RoboCop, whatever it's called. Really, really enjoying it. I was a little bit on the fence with this when I first started playing it. I wasn't quite sure about it. It just felt a bit ploddy. It's RoboCop, isn't it? But it just felt a little bit bare bones, kind of almost PlayStation 2, Xbox era first person shooter. But no, it gets better and better as you go along. It really comes into its own later in the game. And I've absolutely loved playing this game so far. Cannot recommend it enough. If you like RoboCop, if you like the RoboCop movies, yeah, certainly you will get even more of a kick out of this game. I just think it's been really good. Really enjoyed it. I think graphically, again, it doesn't look anything special, but when you again sort of go into certain areas and the lighting and like the puddles on the floor and the city that you're in, it just starts to look amazing. I think it's more the environments that look better. The RoboCop character model looks great, but some of the other characters just look a little bit not as good as they could be or possibly should be. But anyway, I mean, it shouldn't detract from it. I think RoboCop Rogue City, absolutely great game. If you can get it that little bit cheaper these days, even better. So yeah, thoroughly recommend that one, RoboCop Rogue City. Okay, so 2 more games to talk about, both Xbox. The first one, I've been playing this one on and off for a few weeks now. Really love it. Death Smiles on the Xbox 360. I've spoken about this game a couple of times in a few videos, so I'm not going to say too much more about it. But side-scrolling shooter. I think I said it last time. I really wish I'd picked this up a lot sooner. So yeah, I have still been playing this again. Love that one. So the last game I want to talk about, cheers everyone, is on the Xbox. I've been playing it on the Xbox One. I'm playing it on Game Pass via cloud gaming, and it's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I was umming and ahhing about whether to play it on the Xbox or not. I was thinking of holding out and maybe playing it on PlayStation 5 in 2025 this year, but temptation got the better of me, and I did play this. When did I start playing it? I think it might actually have been Christmas Day evening I started to play this. Wow, what a game. It is an incredible game. Really enjoying it. I knew the reviews for it had been great. I knew people on Instagram were raving about it. Everybody on the internet's been saying it's really good. I don't know, I still had my reservations about it. But yeah, having now played it, I've not finished it. Just disclaimer, I haven't finished it. I'm about halfway through it at the moment. But that, on its own, just playing halfway through it, I've just really enjoyed that game. I'm a big fan of the Indiana Jones trilogy. I'm not going to mention the other 2 films. The original trilogy are among my sort of favourite films ever. Last Crusade is probably my favourite, my personal favourite. But yeah, the game itself, brilliant. Just love it. It's just like a modern day Uncharted game with a fresh coat of paint, and everybody's favourite adventurer, archaeologist. Does it out Uncharted? Possibly. I mean, they're very different games. Obviously, Indiana Jones it's a first-person type game compared to Uncharted's third-person viewpoint. But they are incredibly similar in some ways as well. But no, Indiana Jones Great Circle, it has its own. There's a lot more kind of exploration to it. There's a lot more looking at artifacts and puzzle solving. I mean, to be honest, in some ways it's possibly closer to Tomb Raider in a way. But compared to both of those 2 games, Tomb Raider and Uncharted, obviously this is a lot more, or a lot less, sort of combat focused, if you like. So yeah, there's weapons in there. He has his pistol, but I don't think I've actually used his pistol in the game so far yet. But everything else you can pick up can be used as a weapon, which is quite interesting, quite unique for it. My only sort of gripe with it, and it is partly with the first person perspective from the game, is the combat. So, he does his whole with those punching sound effects. And it doesn't, I think it's the only bit that probably they could tighten up. So when they do, the PlayStation 5 version, when they do sequels, I think that's one thing that they might just want to improve a little bit. And it's really hard to do, I always think, in first-person games, is that sort of hand-to-hand combat. It just never quite feels right. I mean, this doesn't feel that far removed from like the hand-to-hand combat in, say, something like Mirror's Edge, which, again, it worked, but it never felt like you were sort of fully in control. That's how I sort of thought it. Maybe I just need to get better at it, I don't know. But other than that is the only criticism I have of the game. I can't wait to see where the rest of the game goes, because story-wise, it's amazing. It's just as good in some ways as the original trilogy sort of storylines in a way, and it feels like it fits right into that trilogy. So that is that's a feat in itself, really. And I can't wait to see where it sort of finishes, and the potential for this as a series as well. Just, they've already started to talk about sequels, haven't they? Which is great, because you know, it's a sort of, in a way, in the video games world, it's a bit of a slept-on franchise. We've had Indiana Jones games in the past, but never like this. Never like this. And I can't wait to see, you know, where they go with his sort of adventures in the future in the gaming space, because obviously they can do pretty much whatever they want. They can go to any sort of time frame, any sort of story point, and just throw a game into it, because they don't have to worry about an aging Harrison Ford. They don't even have to rely on Harrison Ford to provide the voiceover work, because they got Troy Baker to do it, and it's uncanny at times. It's absolutely uncanny how he managed to get himself to sound so much like Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones. Unbelievable. And some of the other characters that are in there as well. So yeah, I can't wait to see where that game finishes. Can't wait to see where that series goes. Just a real, I don't want to say it's a surprise, because, you know, it did look good when it was first announced, but I didn't realise it was going to be quite as good as it is. And that's it. Those were the games that I played in December 2024. A nice way to round off that year. Final Fight Streetwise as the last game that I played in 2024. I never saw that coming, but honestly I just really enjoyed playing that one. But yeah, Indiana Jones as well, incredible game. Once I get RoboCop finished, which I'm not far off doing, I'm going to focus everything onto getting Indiana Jones finished as well. So I'll probably in my January video give you my final thoughts on Indiana Jones. But I think, you know, I'm going to love it anyway. So yeah, decent stack of games that I've played through this month. Let's see what January brings. I'm already starting to play through some games this month as well. We'll do it all again at the end of the month. So thank you for watching as always. If you are not subscribed to the channel, if you could hit that subscription button, that would be great. And I will see you all next time.